Welcome back to No Nonsense, reunited once again. Will Byrne, how are you?
All good. We're good to be back from our uh, respective travels that we said each other were on.
Tell me, how was the Riyadh Football Podcast Festival in Letterkenny?
In Letterkenny, it was good. I didn't realize it was in Letterkenny. I'd forgotten that element of the bit, and when on my solo pod, I totally neglected that part.
Oh, so you actually went to Riyadh. See, this is what I was saying to
I was at the
Riyadh
wrong-
Mahrez at the time.
yeah.
It's going to be confusing
It
for people.
was
You know, they're going to
confusing.
head to Saudi Arabia. It's going to be Letterkenny. They're going to be trying to grow on the game in the wrong place. The game of football podcasting, that is. So, terrible.
Yeah, no good. How was prison?
Prison, yeah. It's not great, but I survived, I suppose. But I did go to prison in Malta. They put me away to Malta. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Bit of a strange one, I guess. But it wasn't the usual authorities that put me there. You see, that's the thing. So I didn't follow the usual judicial process. It was FIFA actually who put me in prison.
Really?
Yeah, crimes against football.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
Yeah, they finally got you.
What do you know? What do you know what happened? Do you know what I was accused of?
No, I have ideas though.
Yeah, well, there's things that I did that I maybe should have been in prison for in terms of footballing crimes, but they didn't know what. Damn, this is a new one.
Okay.
Well, the first mistake I made was I was on public property. It wasn't so like it's like your bins out in the street. Well, they're not on your property; they're the public. The guards can go through that bin. That's public property. Everybody should know this. On public property, this sovereign citizen stuff. It's not as much of an airtight thing as you might think. You can say it as much as you want, but public property, they have you.
What do they get?
Well, I was playing football on a public park. There was a throw in, and I threw it a little bit too long, and yeah, someone ratted me out, and before I knew it, they were kicking down my door, bring me off to the Fort of St. Angelo in Malta, put me in the Guva. Yeah, no man's ever escaped from the Guva, Will. Except for one.
Imagine this was your first episode listened.
Well, look, I mean, it's there's a lot of episodes to catch up on for sure. There's but even just the last two will probably clear all up. I'm not sure many people listen to those episodes.
No,
but, if you did,
yeah, fair play. I don't know if you saw that the retention rate graph on Spotify for the solo.
No, I didn't check it. I'm going to be honest with you, Will. I didn't check it. I didn't.
Didn't need to know.
I thought no good can come of that. Can check the downloads for this week's episode.
Yeah, it's a very funny graph though because it gives you the minute by minute breakdown, obviously, of when people tune out or skip, and both of them, it's like just me here today. Phew, huge plummet.
Yeah, no one wants to listen to the rambling of a madman.
Yeah, either of them.
Either of us, no. Together or maybe just barely listenable, but on our own, it's just like skip, We're a double act, Will. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever try and leave me because you've seen the stats and that's what's going to happen.
Can you remember a single thought you had or take you had?
No.
Sure, I mean either.
Oh.
I said all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this, the take, Will, is this, we're still working on the art of the take. I think that's the problem with this show, that we kind of... well, like Pep said this week, it's 30 days, no one wins the title in November. We've been kind of saying that for the last 5 years, and no one listens to the show. The key is to say the most outrageous thing every week. And no one, we were joking about, hey, go back and listen to last week's episodes if you haven't heard it. No one's doing that. You say the most outrageous thing, clip it, stick it up, people come in. No one's even going back to prove you wrong. They're just getting mad at the clip at the time. So I think we need to, get some more hot takes here. And maybe have some thoughts, some original thoughts, perhaps. Just some ideas, Will.
I don't know.
Original thoughts,
the sound of this.
takes on football. I don't know. This is what I thought about in prison.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Before I know, but I wasn't the one person to escape.
Of course,
by the way, I wasn't the one person. I served my time of 24 hours. And then I was just kind of free to walk around Malta. It was it's pretty good. The person to escape the prison, Will, do you know who that was?
no idea.
Caravaggio.
Wow.
Yeah. He was kind of I know he was the first guy, but one of the earliest guys to really abuse his fame.
Mm.
Yeah, he used to. Well, he killed a couple of guys.
Okay.
Yeah, killed a couple of guys in Rome. Fled to Malta with the Knights of Saint John. Tried to bring him into the Knights, and what did he do? Well, he got in a scrap with one of the Knights, and he put hands and feet on a made guy. And they went, "Look, we know you're a celebrity and all that, but you've pushed too far, Caravaggio. Get in the hole." Um, and then again, utilized his fame, escaped in a boat through the fucking ocean, ended up in Sicily. But yeah, it's an interesting place, Malta, I have to say. I listen to these kind of things, these walking tours, and I always kind of want to find out more. And one of the things was about the Protestant Reformation. Remember that from school?
I do. Martin Luther and all that.
Martin Luther, it's 10 things, 100 things why you suck.
Yeah,
that's
he
the list.
hammered it onto a door, and that was that.
Yeah, early Facebook posts about toxic people and why they're so toxic. And and there's a church in Malta, in Valletta, the Co-Cathedral, Will. And it's breathtaking. Like it's just like there's the Caravaggio paintings in there that I did while I was in Malta. There's like just gold everywhere. It's hard to describe. There's frescoes on the ceilings, not frescoes, other oil paintings. It's really it's jaw dropping stuff, And this was a response to the Reformations. And one of the toxic things that Martin Luther said was, you're not really spending the money around to people. You're kind of just spending it on churches. So they said, well, we'll show you. Spend all this money on this, tear up this already existing church. I'm sure Martin Luther was like, did you even read the list? Did you even read it? Or did you just hear about it from one of the lads, And then later on, this is all from the tour guide, the walking tour guide. But yeah, after that, then there was the council, the Council of Trent, to evaluate what's gone wrong. Maybe there is some things wrong with this whole thing, with this team of Catholic Church, you might say. Maybe spending that money on a whole kind of tarting up of a room is maybe not the fix that we thought it might be. Even though people are like, wow, this is pretty great on paper, but maybe deep down there's some problems there, and they formed the Council of Trent to do more charter works and to kind of fix the thing from inside in. So yeah, I mean, I guess I couldn't help but think of Liverpool,
Yeah.
Will, especially after their hammering by Manchester City. Manchester City, who are what's this about, Will? How are they second? How do they always do this, Will? How are they always dead and then not dead? How are they all? I was listening to someone saying, I don't know, was it Gary Neville or someone was saying, look, they're just a team of bang average players now. We're used to having great players. They're just full of bang average players now. How do they fool everybody so quickly and then they come back and it's like we were never gone?
It was incredible watching them tear through Liverpool in the first half, especially.
Yeah.
But not just that. Obviously, they hammered them. They looked amazing. Every player looked as good as City have ever looked. But Pep's interview after the game, like an evil villain returning, where he's just like, yes, I saw Arsenal drop points. You never win leagues in November. You get better every week, like we are. And I was like, this is terrifying. How does he know? How has he done this? And again, it's like, I think I said last week that they're like, one-man team, it's only Haaland scoring. I think before the Liverpool goal, the second highest score in the Premier League for Man City was that Burnley defender who got the 2 own goals. And then I think everyone else was on 1 after that. But in that game, they were unbelievable. Doku was amazing.
Yeah, I do remember you specifically saying, who's going to score from Doku?
Yeah. I said, give over. I said, Foden. Foden scored 2 during the week as well.
Yeah, he's back as well. I mean, Foden, like, these players aren't bad players, maybe the team isn't built to really utilize their strengths all the time, but I mean, they are good players. Yeah, okay. Is Cherky as good as Kevin De Bruyne? No, probably not. I know he's only 21, but I would take the bet that he's not going to have as good a Man City career as Kevin De Bruyne. But they don't all have to be perfect. I think there's still a strong squad there. And yeah, what Pepper's saying about it only being November, no one wins the title in November. Kind of like what I said, Will, about the 20-minute analogy.
Yep.
You know, like it is early days. You're halfway through the first half. Like I mean, and basically what Pep said was that you have to grow into the game. You know, you start off with a house on fire, you run out of gas. Like I can already kind of see it. Will I can already see like Arsenal getting these photoshopped, well, possibly AI now because people don't really Photoshop things anymore for football Twitter, anyways. You know, we conceded 1 goal in Sean Target for October award. You know, that's no one cares about that. You know, you want to be there at the end. So, yeah, I mean, look, City are growing into it, growing into the game, and they've done it 6 times under Pep. Is that right? 6?
Yes, I think so. I remember Pep with his big scratched head was getting chance of you're getting sacked in the morning last season against Liverpool, and he stuck up the 6 fingers at them.
Yeah. So he's done it 6 times. He knows what this feels like. He knows what November feels like when you're about to win the league. You know, and he's
he
obviously
seems
drawing
to think
comparisons to it. Yeah. He thinks, yeah, this feels pretty similar. This feels like a familiar, warm, fuzzy feeling I have after beating the champions. And maybe it's a small thing, and it's something you think, well, anyone say that. But even when he said afterwards, he said, don't try and win this game now because Arsenal have dropped points. Do it because, you know, your City. Do it because Liverpool are champions of England. Do it for yourselves, you know. Which is, again, just like, it's a bit strong to call it the genius of Pep, but it's just that kind of man management is important rather than like, you know, putting the pressure on them to like, because Arsenal drop points, this is our chance to win. It's like, hey, forget about them. Do it for yourselves. You know, do it because of who we are. Like that is what winners do. You know, that they're playing for themselves, they're doing their own thing, and they have belief in themselves that that's going to be successful. And it also it fosters belief in Pep as well as themselves. It's just really good man management. I'm just saying he hasn't lost it, Will. That's all. You know, hot. Here's my hot take for this episode. Pep Guardiola, probably one of the best managers ever. Probably one of the best managers I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. It's worrying.
I mean, they looked really good. This has happened this season though, where a team has beaten Liverpool and beaten them like wild. And you think, wow, what a result for that team. But then as games have gone on, you go, are Liverpool just crap though? Do you know what I mean? Like I've seen City not be that great this season too. It could be more of that than anything else. I mean, especially when they had a goal disallowed and it felt like, oh, well, now they want us to lose as well as we are losing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean about like Pep taking the moment
and
making something more than it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than like, oh, we've beaten Liverpool, this is great. He's talking about this is just the start of it, you know. Whether it is or not, the City players will not think of, wow, I can't believe after how many, you know, bad performances and not great games, we've actually beaten a really good side. He's put it back on them like this is just us growing into the league. This is how you win the league. You're starting now and you're growing into it. Arsenal are peaking too early. They've scored too early, Pep is saying. You know, I think that is, you know, genius or otherwise, the strength of Pep as a manager, that he can turn these things into, you know, bigger victories than they are. So, yeah, I don't think they're, like say, they're the best team of the last 10 years that they've had. Absolutely not. But I still think they are good enough to win the league. And it's, like say, Arsenal being the only consistently good team. And none of those players have won it with Arsenal or in the Premier League. So they're not unshakable either. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a huge test for Arteta to keep them out on level headed, especially now with its international break next week. So you drop points in Sunderland. Now City are like this coming force, and all right, head off to your own countries.
Have a think about that for a while. Don't let that get
marinate
you,
in your soul. Yeah, especially going off to fucking the team that gets hammered. You know, which some of them might. You know, and it's international football, so I don't know. Has there been any kind of mysterious injuries? This tends to happen usually in the second half of the season. These injuries happen, they'll go for the friendlies, but this is the final qualifying round for some of them, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think this is just the final qualifying round altogether.
Oh, everyone's doing that. Okay,
I think so.
Yeah. So then it's you could be heading off to your not so great international team with the must-win game. So it's going to be huge. Steve Arteta can bring them back after whatever happens in terms of injuries or whatever, and say, right, let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely, which again, it's great for the neutral. Will it's not going to be over by by December, I don't think. I think it's definitely going to be a title race between City and Arsenal, at least. I guess, yeah, if you talk about some of the incidents in the game itself, you mentioned the disallowed goal.
Yeah, a classic. That's a classic of the genre of guy dips out of way. Is he actually doing anything?
Yeah, well, how about this, Will? Because you know referees aren't robots. I mean, obviously some of them are, but the main ones aren't. And they have biases and stuff. Because it's Donnarumma, is it kind of like, well, he might have saved that if
yeah,
Robertson...
yeah.
Whereas if that had been, who was it, James Trafford?
Yeah, Trafford. And a whole slew of other Premier League keepers got. Well, he had no
Well,
chance.
just even the other Man City keepers will say. Is Trafford still there? Or did he go on loan?
No, he's there. He's
still there.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, if Trafford, say, had been playing due to injury,
yeah,
I think they go, give over Trafford. You're not saving that.
As if, mate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why you didn't save it. Good one. I think the Donnarumma thing, that's the key to buying a really good keeper as well. It's that kind of reputation, like, well, he might save that because he saves some great saves. But I don't think he really affected that much. I don't think.
No.
Because it wasn't like he was standing beside the keeper. He was standing in front of him to the side. What did he think? Okay, well, Robertson has that side covered, so I'll just save him. Oh, Robertson moves. Like, he's, if it was his own defender saying, you could say, put him off. Not that would make any difference for the allowing or not allowing of the goal. But like, it wasn't like he thought Robertson had it covered.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So it really doesn't make any sense, but it was very quick. Yeah, no, he was near the ball and he ducked. But the goalie wasn't, immediately I was like, that's not right. That shouldn't be disallowed.
It's funny because it was so quickly chalked off, like you said, but I think they saw the first angle that everyone else saw. We're like, oh, he's in the way, he ducked out of the way, and they went, yeah, chalk it off. And then obviously it showed the rest of the angles, and like in every other angle, he's nowhere near. He's not blocking Donnarumma. Donnarumma has a clear sight of vision and can't reach that far into the goal anyway. But it's like they just saw the first one that everyone else did, and they confirmed it too quick. They couldn't go back then. As they have shown before, that is a rule. Once you say it, you can't go back on it.
And we also know that they have no confidence in themselves.
Yes. They just want it done. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're obsessed with getting done quickly. Which if you were like, listen, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to get it right because that's my job. And that's what I take pride in. Then I'm going to take as many views of the, like, what was it, 5 angles? 3, 4, 3, they can't be more than 5 angles. Look at all 5.
Yeah.
And make your decision. But no, it's like the first one, okay, an easy one. Thank God for that, No allowed. We're back on track. We're not slowing the game down, I swear. We're good boys. It's really bad. And like, I don't know. It's repetitive. We talk about referees the entirety of this podcast and the VAR and why it doesn't work. But it's bad. And I don't think that it would have affected the outcome of the game, because I do think City were better than them, and Liverpool didn't have much of an answer for Doku, who kept finding himself in one-on-one situations. Like, Bradley was doing it right, but he can just go left or right, So I mean, he was always going to score eventually because he didn't seem to run out of energy much.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It was just it was a bad decision, and when you're Liverpool, you need something to go your way in this kind of run of games. That's just not what you need. But like I say, I don't think it would have changed the result of the game.
No, yeah, I mean, they were like the Haaland goal, the header that kind of bounced off Kanata's
that was
head.
Unlucky too. Yeah.
Unlucky, but the build up to that goal, I mean, it was mental. City were in their own corner and ping ponged their way all the way up the pitch to that chance. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, unlucky finish, unlucky for the other thing, but it's like when the ball wasn't unluckily going into the net or your goals weren't being stopped, you're getting absolutely played off the pitch. So it's like, it was going to happen one way or another.
Yeah, 22 passes, they kept saying on the field. I was watching 22 passes, every outfield player touched the ball in the build-up. Like Barcelona in their prime will. Tiki-taka in its purest form.
It's back. You're swinging back.
It's back with these two teams, I think, but no one else. Everyone else seems to have.
I did think it was mental when City were playing out from the back in the first few minutes. It's like, we've been told he can't defend if you don't do this. He hates when you don't do this. Don't do it.
Yeah, but they're really good at it.
Exactly. Like, they're the only team who can do it.
Yeah. If Burnley try to play out for the back, yeah, they can press the fuck out of that. But if a team who can really play one-touch football does this, then we saw it. They will just ping-pong the way out of corners. There's one moment there where they're just doing triangles in the middle of the pitch. They're like 2 rounds of triangles. Like, it's going the same way, lads. It's going a triangle. But, and like, knowing what's going to happen and be able to stop what's going to happen is 2 different things. As we saw with the Doka goal, like, he's going to run at you. You know, we all know that. But I mean, can anybody stop that? You know? And yeah, that's when that shot flew in at the end. Is this his second or third season now at City?
I feel like
but
third,
around that,
yeah.
second or third.
Yeah.
But that's what he didn't have. He always had the pace and the energy and the kind of the quickness of feet, but he didn't seem to have any end product, like assist or goal, like a pass from the player. He didn't seem to have. But if he's managed to put that together now, there's not much you can do to stop that.
yeah. Like, you can only foul him. That's it.
Yeah, like I know I don't want to make the comparison to Robin too early. I mean, it's only 1 goal, but like he was the same thing. Like, he knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to get that ball, cut in his left. Or Gareth Bale would used to do the same thing with Tottenham. Like, just get on his left. And then, lo and behold, flies top corner. So there is just like levels of physical specimens out there. You can know exactly what to do, and they're, you know, I always hear those stories of Larry Bird used to do that as well. He used to tell people what he's going to do, and then you just do it. Because he was like 6'9", and you could just, you know, move like Doku. And it was like, nothing you can do. Like, he can tell you what he's going to do, but I mean, it doesn't matter. So yeah, if he started playing well and Phil Foden started playing well and Haaland still, what was it? Something insane. 29 goals in 18 games this year, something like that. It was
something crazy. Yeah, he's out of control at the moment. And again, even in that one, like, his goal, it was kind of an own goal or just a wicked deflection. But again, it felt like if he didn't get that, though, he would have found a way to definitely get his goal anyway. So it didn't matter. Even after he missed the penalty, it was like, that won't stop him.
Yeah. We should mention that the penalty. It wasn't even that bad a penalty, I don't think. It was a really good save.
Yeah, it was a good save, yeah. But it didn't, like, you see that happen. We've seen it with Bruno Fernandes, say, loads of times this season. He missed the penalty, that's going to be in his head for the rest of the game. He's done. Haaland was like, didn't even bother him. He was just like, yep, on to the next. I will, like, he's going to score when he gets a shot, so it doesn't matter.
I guess he's scored so many. It's not playing his head as much. Like, if he's just scoring every time he plays, a miss now and again, even if it's a penalty, it's just not going to affect him, I don't think, because he knows it's coming. He knows he can do it. He just didn't that time, but he knows he can. I'm sure you've seen the documentary he's put out.
Well, I know he has his YouTube is on the go at the moment.
Well, yeah, a vlog, I guess. But he's a YouTuber like us. Well, he's a YouTuber.
He's a content creator like us. Yeah,
yeah, a peer of ours, a colleague, Erling Haaland. What do you make of the diet, Will?
The raw milk.
The raw milk.
Because I saw the raw milk thing, but he's kind of he's a bit of a fraud, because he says he has raw milk.
Yeah.
But he heats it up with a steamer and froths it so that it's regular milk. Do you know what I mean? So he's just adding a step to the process.
But he has the big gallons as raw milk in it, Will. So
yeah, but he's not drinking it raw. He's heating it up and pasteurizing it and spinning it. Like, wait, he's doing everything to do to make it milk anyway.
So what is pasteurizing? Riddle me that, because I don't know what it is. So
I think.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's spinning it around really fast.
Yeah,
and that does something. That's my level of knowledge.
I heard about this pasteurizing thing a while ago. I'm not sure why. I know it was like foot or mouth something, but I kept hearing that it was like connected to TB. The reason we don't have TB anymore is because we pasteurize our milk. So surely, there isn't just TB sitting in the milk that you just spin around and it just disappears, is it?
Well, I think they add like things in as well, like because there's all kind of fucking microorganisms living in milk, I'd imagine. So I think lots of people, I think RFK is a big raw milk guy.
Oh, okay. Right.
You'd be shocked to hear. But like they're all like, yeah, the less things added to it, the better. But like you said, the things added to it stop you getting like mad cow disease and TB and stuff.
Another jacked man, to be fair. If you want to get jacked,
to be fair, yeah.
Drink raw milk, pasteurize it at home. Don't trust the pasteurizing they do in the factories. That's the thing. You don't know what they're doing in there, Will. There's no windows in those factories. You ever notice that?
Yeah. You think, but like, it is mad as well because even I get he's drinking raw milk
Yeah,
or like drinking a lot of milk. I can't imagine that is good for his digestion.
I'd say it has its own process for sure. I'd say he has routine. I wouldn't say that's right on the YouTube. You wouldn't want to demonetize it if you were doing toilet stuff. But yeah, he's kind of on this the kind of the caveman kind of style of eating the food with your hands. That way you can feel how warm it is and stuff. It's like raw milk, but then pasteurize yourself. I don't know. I don't know if that's the secret to it. Has he been doing this for years? I don't know if did he mention that. All I do is he's been
No idea.
cooking him his own meals since he was 16. That's one of the takes I had. Whatever he's doing is working for him. But it might be one of those causation versus correlation things. Maybe if he was just eating like a normal person, he'd also be scoring goals.
Yeah, I think if he just had a chef cooking him steaks and stuff every day, like the rest of the footballers, he'd be doing fine. I was also following Ruben Diaz's chef on TikTok for a while. That was great.
Oh yeah, why? What's he up to?
So he breaks down like what I cook for a Premier League player for lunch, and then he does like he has a little GoPro on his head and he makes an unbelievable lunch. But it's just mad seeing this man that lives in Ruben Diaz's house and cooks all day for him.
Yeah, so he's also a content creator, the chef. Us, the chef, Erling Haaland.
Yeah,
we're all part of the same guild of content creators. Do we have a union? Do you have a union card for this or no?
Is there a content creators union? That's a great question. That should.
I guess we're all freelancers in a way, aren't we?
Yeah, I suppose you don't want a union because if you have a union, then everyone has to get paid the same. We get paid the same as Erling Haaland and stuff.
We would love that.
It'd be great for us. Great for the little guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the whole point of the union is. Brings up the little guy.
Yeah, that's why there's no union in fighting or wrestling. Two things where it's like, I'm not giving... Hulk Hogan is not giving the guy on the bottom of the card his pay.
No, it's fire to death, I suppose. Anyways, we're getting a little bit off topic, Will. Haaland and City are growing into this game with the power of raw milk and eggs. Just simple eggs, fried eggs. Protein. He follows the church of protein, I think, does Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
And it's paying dividends. As I said, we need to make more hot takes. We need to have more outrageous claims. So in that spirit, Will, slot out?
Yes, slot out. I think the time has come.
Oh.
I know. Well, like I'm not saying like yes, you have to.
No, we are.
Oh, sorry.
We are.
Yes.
This is what we always do. We go, look, on the balance, I don't know. And then we end the episode and no one listens. We have to make a stand here. No one's going to listen back. This is never going back to bite us.
That's true, yeah.
Just don't say a slur and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And,
I think his time is up.
We'll be drowned in raw milk. With all the money we're making. We'll be drinking straight from the teat.
I think, the time is up. I just think any other club, or it's weird because he won the league last season, but I think any other club, if you spend 400 million in a summer and then go on to lose whatever it is, 7 out of 10 games, you're gone. That's like, there's no real leniency for that. And I don't think there probably should be. You know what I mean? Like, that does seem kind of unforgivable to spend £500 million in 2 months and then all the players you bought in are probably are problem areas in the squad now and your team's worse than ever. Like, you had a good thing and you ruined it.
Well, this is the thing we always kind of attribute, and this is kind of old thinking, is that the manager has total control of transfers. And we always kind of attribute, like, he spent $500 million. It's like, he didn't get the company credit card. They go, right, Kirkes, get him in, swipe.
Ooh,
swipe that card.
I like the sound of him.
Yeah, I like the sound of that guy. Get him in. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever the cost, get Isaac in.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just put on the card. I don't know if that's going to come against him. I think it's maybe the losses, but I was looking into, and I will say, I was looking into it, and I did write down, and I've forgotten it. But I was looking into when Leicester sacked the Tinkerman himself, Claudio Ranieri, after he won the league, of course, with Leicester. Even more unexpected than Liverpool win the league. Well, I'll have you know. People didn't think Liverpool were going to win the league, but even less we thought Leicester were going to win the league. The next year, I think they had lost nobody. No, I think they lost Kante.
Yeah.
But they still had Mahrez, still had Vardy, still had Robert Huth, Wes Morgan, Mark Albright, and all the boys. And they were languishing down the bottom. I think it was maybe like 6 games they lost in a row. With a few other games they lost, there's a few draws and there a couple of wins. Again, I looked this up, I don't remember. But it was, I want to say January, around that time, that they let him go. What I'm saying, Will, is he has a while to go yet. Any other club, after you just won the league and you're doing so badly, has there ever been an example of that? Yes, there has. It's Leicester. So for anybody who wants to look it up, you can. Look up when
Conte, did he get sacked after winning the league with Chelsea?
Probably did.
Chelsea's weird though.
But I don't think
they're
they
different.
Yeah, they were never in relegation trouble.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm just gonna look it up. 23rd of February, he was sacked. Will,
So a while.
with the club 1 point above relegation zone, with 13 matches remaining in the 2016-2017
1 point above
Premier League
relegation
season.
in February. Yeah, he's got to go.
So I think that's probably what it's going to take for Slot to go. As you mentioned, Chelsea it was a different club back then. It didn't suffer losses lightly, and also if you had a falling out with Abramovich, he really didn't care. Genuinely, I don't think he cared that much at all. It was just more like, I don't want to have a look at your face after you said that to me. I won't stand for that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying for Slot. February 17th, I think he'll probably last there. But it's going to take something like we might get relegated here. I think Leicester really thought that too. Whereas you look at Tottenham and Manchester United last season, like they had relegation form, and there's just that there's worse teams below them, which I guess is the same for anyone who doesn't get relegated. But there isn't that belief that you're actually going to go down, I think, with either of those sides. Like, I know we were talking about it, but really, I didn't actually ever believe that Man United were going to get relegated. Did you?
No, I always knew they weren't the worst team in the league. They were the 4th worst team in the league. Do you know what I mean? There was always worse teams down there.
It's just a bit unthinkable as well. It's like, no, I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. But yeah, so maybe Leicester had that added thing of like, I know we won the league last year, that was great, but we could definitely get relegated here, and they haven't relegated since. So maybe it was the right move at the time. But yeah, I think it's not looking good for Arne.
I think something that might go against him as well, and I think it was I think he had a talking to, I would say, from one of the Liverpool board. And I haven't seen this, but it seemed that after they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, when they played their youth team, essentially a B team, just got knocked out by Palace. After the game, Arne Slot was saying how he looked up Man City's lineup before the game in their Carabao Cup game. He's like, they played their B team, but they just have so much more players than us, which is like, you can't really be saying that after. Again, whether he spent the money or the board did, it's probably worse if it's all on the board for him to then be like, all that money was a waste of time because our team is still crap. But then I do know in the press conference after that, so last weekend or whenever it was, he was saying the opposite. He was like, no, we have an unbelievable squad, and look, sometimes your words get twisted into different ways by the media, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you said that.
Yeah, the media are like those sniveling weasels in the media.
So I think he probably got a very stern talking to from the board, like, do not fucking say that ever again, mate. But I think things like that will go against him. I think he is like most managers, he's not a great loser, and if he's on a losing streak, he's going to start saying some mad stuff, and eventually he's going to say the wrong things and turn, I think, the Liverpool fans against him big time.
Yeah, I think, as I say, it is early days, but just on vibes alone, just a quick vibe check, I don't feel that they're going to compete for the league this year.
Yeah.
Just the way it's going, not that the players aren't still good, and not that they're a million miles off in terms of points, and it's not that many points make up and whatever. But I just think the way the players played against City, like it was 70 minutes there. I think Salah had that chance where he just scooted by Donnarumma. It just seemed like the entire life was sort of sucked out of the team there. There wasn't the belief of I feel like it can go one or two ways. Like if you're if you're going well and you've just been lucky in the game, but you feel you can get back into it, that's the kind of chance that goes, oh my God, we can get at them. You know, like we can get through this defense, or it's like, oh, that was a chance. That was a huge one. You know, we won't get a chance of that again. Yeah. You know, it all just depends on how you're feeling as a team. And I think when that chance didn't go in, there was like a collective sigh of like, oh no, we're not going to win today, lads.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it's early days, but it's early days to feel like that. Like it's not actually over. But if you feel like this isn't working or there's too many problems in the team, then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Because yeah, like I say, the left back situation, Robertson's out back in the team after being written off by all their fans, including their celebrity fans like Jimmy Carragher, who were like, get him out, you know. And now he's back in the team because he's the best left back you have. The Wirtz thing continues. Another fruitless day for Wirtz. I saw when he was coming off. It's like just...
I saw Gary Neville said, I know last week I said Kirkes looked like a little boy. I thought Wirtz looked like a little boy this week.
Yeah, stop from little boys, Gary Neville. Get your mind out of little boys, please. Just watch the game and come like a normal person. He was really good, actually. He kept getting fouled on the ball. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what you meant by little boy. Every time he used to nutmeg like lads 2 or 3 times, and they just kept pulling down, and different lads kept fouling and getting yellow cards. So it was like tactical fouling. So yeah, I don't know. I think Gary Neville's a bad actor. You know, I think he knows what he's seeing, and he's saying something else because that's what he wants to believe. I think sometimes. I thought he was actually not too bad for it, but yeah. But again, everyone was kind of not great in that team. But I think it's unfair to put on him. I think that's just like piling on the pressure on him. You know, I don't think that helps. I think Ekatike was you know, a bit anonymous, but again, it all kind of trickles down if they're not getting the ball in the middle, and it's like getting to him. I don't know if you can blame one player like that. You know,
and the classic issue, which you could have predicted this. We probably did predict it coming into the season. Ekatike is not having a great game. Liverpool aren't going well. Camera pans over to a dejected looking Isak on the bench, shaking his head. Why are they out there? It's like, you don't need this. Is such a massive problem you've caused that you didn't need. Like, it's just an unnecessary weight over the club that you're always making the wrong decision depending on which striker you pick. It's never going to be the right one.
Yeah, after a couple of games they don't score, it's like, well, you got to manage your team better than that, Arne. You know, he's a really good striker on the bench, you know. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for them to get out of this. But the other, I guess, big game in terms of the title race was the Arsenal Sunderland game. I mentioned their record of 1 shot on target against them in October. Put that in the cabinet, lads. So dust her off and stick that stat in there. You know, just put it on that tissue paper. That'll do. That's right. Yeah, that's maybe there'll be relief now. The kind of the defense being breached in such a way. 2 set piecey kind of goals, really scrambles the box, let's say. Yeah, Arsenal not impenetrable. You know, they are able to concede goals, and from set pieces, they're not they're not St. Angelo's fortress that much. Who's the centre back? I forget his name. I maybe heard it 3 or 4 times. He was a former Arsenal youth product, but never got to play for the senior team, and now he scores against them and makes a crucial block at the end to keep them out.
What did you make of Sunderland? You know, answering, coming up with an answer for the Arsenal set piece genius of moving the advertising boards close to block long throws.
It's a disgrace. The game should have been stopped. The pitch should have been rearranged. You know, this is what the kind of but there's a war against it. You know, this is what landed me in prison in Malta. You know, this kind of war against the dark arch and long throws and smart play. It's just smart play.
But here's something I thought as well. Arsenal's we mentioned this as well, but Arsenal haven't actually scored that many set pieces. Like some other teams are also scoring just as many. Do you know how many goals Arsenal have scored from long throws this season in the Premier League?
Directly, I guess, or how do you contribute? I suppose something like big scrambles in the box or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to say 0.
Yeah, 0. They're not really their long throws are not any good. They try them, but they're not particularly great at. But it's just funny that I don't think Sunderland did this against other teams. It's literally the reputation now comes before what they actually do. Like corners, yeah, they're great at them. But it's not like they're geniuses at throw-ins as well. They just try to throw it long like everyone else does. But for some reason, Sunderland were like, move in. Don't let them have an inch of a long throw.
Well, it's psychological though, I guess, you know.
Yeah. But I'm assuming Sunderland are going to do this every week from now on until inevitably the FA says, you can't do that. That's not allowed, surely.
Yeah, I suppose like Stoke is like, can you do it on a cold, wet, windy night in Stoke? Lots of people did. Stoke never finished above 10th. You know, they never challenged for the league. They never, you know, lots of people beat Stoke. But there's the reputation of like, oh, these guys, this is a tough place to go. I remember Devin Bass scoring a hat-trick against them. For Newcastle.
Crap.
Like,
they're famously crap. I think, it comes from that classic like bit of like, could Messi do it on a wet Tuesday night in Stoke? It's like, I think over the years that's evolved into a new thing. That was sarcastic. It's like he would absolutely rip through a Tuesday night in Stoke. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knew that when they were saying it at the time. It was just a funny little bit. But I think over the years now it's evolved into like, God, Stoke, one of the greatest defensive teams in the history of the Premier League.
Yeah, Messi obviously would have done it on a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Because I said Demba Ba did
it. Yeah.
Yeah, what was I even talking about? Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal now have adopted this kind of this, oh my God, these are the long throw guys. We're going to stop the long throws. But that puts in Arsenal's head that we're going to stop your game plan. We're not going to let you play how you want to play, I suppose. If it doesn't actually any practical application, it does get in your heads a bit. But I mean, Arsenal should have won that game by 3 or 4. You know, Sunderland were really backing off there, let Arsenal take shots and hit the crossbar a couple of times. A good few chances, really, that they should have scored. And then it was just one of those things. Last minute goals. Brobbery did double. It was such an acrobatic finish by Brian Brobbery. I don't know, with Gabriel breathing on his neck, it was just like terrific finish. But
we wasted daylight robbery 2 weeks ago, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was just both times that he was involved in the last minute equalizer, he just did really well. It's kind of disrespectful, I guess, to call it daylight robbery just because his name rhymes with robbery. I don't know. I don't know if you saw a clip of the Trossard goal and the blood curdling scream that the commentator let out as he was saying Trossard.
Yeah.
Fury's on the overlap. Trossard!
Just one of those things where he started the Trossard too early and then was like searching for.
You got to go higher. Yeah.
He was just searching for breath at the end and just started gargling the word Trossard. He saw the game happening too far in front. He just started the Trossard too early. You know, he wanted to rise into Trossard, but he just left himself a bit short, and we just gargled on those vowels and consonants at the end. But yeah, look, Arsenal should be allowed to drop a point against one of the underdog stores of the year. You know, everybody should be allowed to drop a point or two in October. And if this derails the season for Arsenal, they don't deserve to win it.
Yeah.
You know, if this is all it takes to like, oh God, we've conceded 2 goals in November after not conceding any in October. Like, yeah, Arteta should be saying, lads, grow into it. You know, we're growing into the season. Don't worry about one loss. Sunderland are a good side. They're 4th. You know, you don't get to 4th even now. It's
the international break. It just magnifies everything because again, you just got to stew on it for so long, and that's why managers get sacked in the international break. I think because they have a bad result or a bad string of results, and the board go, "No, we won't sack him." But then they have like a week to think about it and go, "Actually, I'm still annoyed over that." They don't have a chance to move on.
Yeah, well, the loss sits with you a week extra. You know, you don't get to go right back at it Tuesday night in the cup or the Champions League. You're waiting a week on that loss, then you come back and you have another game to try and make up for it. But it's been there a while. Yeah, what was the other game then we were going to talk about? Man United Tottenham. A repeat of the Europa League final, Will.
A lot more entertaining, I'll tell you.
Well, finals are really entertaining, aren't they? You know, it's so much on the line. You know, both managers nearly lost their job in that game. And not the one you think did lose his job.
Yeah. And then he lost it again.
And he's been back and lost again, and now Tottenham and United are playing again. How mad is that? You know? Life moves very quick. But yeah, it was 4 games in a row that Tottenham had beaten Man United. So another streak broken. Yeah, I guess let's just cut through all the rest of it, Will. You know, Mbunu and all that stuff. Player of the manager is hammered turn around. Yada, yada, yada. Richarlison has got to stop doing this. He's got to stop doing this. I know it was a few years ago, but once is too many. You know, it's embarrassing. It can happen, emotionally over, fine. But if I was Richarlison, it would be in my head forever. Anytime I score a goal ever again, I wouldn't care if we were, 5-0 up. I'm not taking off my shirt at any moment of the game. But to do this again, to score what you think is going to be the winner, take off your shirt and run to the crowd for the thing to happen again, where you then concede and you look silly. It's like I say, if that happened to me once, I would never forget it. And he seemed to forget it pretty quickly in my book.
To be fair, I had forgotten it as well.
What? How could you forget that?
I had forgotten. I think I was so wrapped up in being annoyed that United conceded. I was like, "God, fuck, that's that end." But then when literally the second United scored, I was like, "Oh yeah, Richarlison did the thing again." Like he's again another. Remember, he was at a point. Was it last season where Antonio and Callum Wilson were mocking him for having more yellow cards?
Remember that podcast? Another podcast we buried, Will. Another content creator we put in the ground over the years. Coming up to our level.
I think they had a short run, but I think it was one of the most problematic podcasts in the history of football.
It shouldn't happen. 2 current players having a podcast is not a good look. I know in the NBA they do it all the time, but it's different. It's not different. nicey over there. It's non-contact, all that stuff. You can't have 2 current players slagging off other current players on a podcast weekly. That was insane.
Remember they said Harry Maguire? What was it? It was like, oh, I could never do what he's going through at the moment. Like they were just talking about how like fucking sorry a state of affairs it is to be Harry Maguire at the time.
Well, it's like every ex-pro podcast claims to be. It's like background stories about things that happened 20 years ago. And it's like some kind of salacious stories, but then I'll go, look, I won't say who it was. It's like, what the fuck is the point then? If I don't, But this was like real time, like stuff that they're actually talking about in the dressing room. Other players were talking about Harry Maguire. It was very entertaining, but obviously at some point someone said to them already, they thought themselves, actually, we should be doing this. Should stay in the locker room, stuff that we're
thinking back now. I had forgotten about this. I think this is actually a story that we inadvertently discovered, where we talked about that clip where they were laughing about Richarlison getting more yellow cards for taking his shirt off. I remember they said something like, "Oh, all the boys in the dressing room were laughing at him as well," or something like that, and they were laughing it up. And I remember we went to put that clip in an episode, and they had wiped that clip from the internet. It was gone. So I'd imagine Tottenham got onto them or something. Because remember, it was when Richarlison was going through like a mental health thing as well, and they were laughing it up. That clip is gone from the internet.
Yeah, that's when Ange Postecoglou got most of his plaudits because he handled that situation very empathetically, I think. Yeah, because he was saying that he was talking to Paqueta as well. I was like, what's that guy's problem? Because there was a back and they did the clip initially. Then he was like, maybe Charles says me on Instagram or whatever. Like, what are you doing, you clown? Don't be saying that. And then Antonio said to Paqueta, being like, hey, what's that guy's problem? And Paqueta said, he's just sensitive, which then Antonio relayed back in the podcast again. So I was like, even his teammates aren't standing up for him. His international teammates, that is.
Yeah.
So it was like really like, okay, I know this is all real. I'm not saying any of this is lies, but just you shouldn't be saying this stuff. This is tearing the whole fabric of the Premier League apart here. What were we talking about? Richarlison.
And then he did it again.
He's a fool.
We're not in the Premier League. We're allowed to.
We're punching up. That's the thing. When you're as low as we are, everything is punching up, really. But yeah, I think. No, I didn't think of it as soon as he scored. I wasn't like, oh my God, it's happening again. But after they had equalized, I was like, you're a hostage to fortune, aren't you? You know, if there's a second left in the game, if I'd done that before, like I did see, like Opta, who have said since stats began, which means their stats, which
Yep.
you know they seem to have cornered the market here on stats somehow. 06-07 is when their stats began, by the way, so not that long ago. But first player to ever score a 90+ minute goal and take off his shirt, not win the game twice. I was like, okay, it's happening. Like, so we're just making up stats now. I mean, obviously it's not a made up stat; it's a stat, but it's not really relevant. It's like
It's
we
not
all
stat,
know this.
Yeah. There's no
It is a
metric.
stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's no.
like,
Yeah. What is a stat? There's no other like stat. It's not like you can't make a Venn diagram of that, can you?
Yeah, a chart. Yeah.
A chart or a bar chart, a pie chart. You know, it's not, unless you can put it in a kind of colorful pictogram, it's not going to stack up as a stat in my book. But yeah, I think he's a very emotional player. Is Richarlison? You know, like he's not taking off his shirt to flex. Do you know what I mean? To show off his body.
His tattoo, his back tattoo featuring himself.
Yeah, I mean, he has like 21 million followers on Instagram. You can just do that any day of the week. So it's not an ego thing. I think it's literally just he hadn't scored in a while. People, no doubt, were messaging him saying, "You're ruining my fantasy team. Thanks a lot." And when he scored, the pressure's on him in his own mind. Again, like say, like we're talking about Haaland, he missed the penalty in the game. You just know that it barely even bothered him.
Yeah.
He was just like, doesn't matter, I'll score again. Whereas Richarlison is like, think about every missed chance, every game doesn't score, every game doesn't start. It all seems to weigh on him a lot. And when he's going well, when he's in a run of form, he's like, everything I touch turns to goals, you know. But once it drives up, it's the opposite. So, yeah, I think, like I say, a normal person maybe would be thinking, I'm never taking my shirt off ever again, no matter what. But I think he was just so overcome with the emotion. It's like he had to do it again. But yeah, definitely this should be the last time he does it. I don't want to ever see him with the shirt off on a pitch while the game's still being played.
Like, I think we said this when it happened initially last season or whenever it was. Like, yeah, back a few seasons ago, you scored in the 92nd minute. The game is over. Not anymore. There's 5 more minutes to go. There's so much time left. And like, they are now desperately trying to score. Especially like, I don't know, any of the bigger teams or any, like, Man United are always scoring late goals. That's like their whole thing for years. So, yeah, it's just, he had to stop for a second, think. I know it feels like I've scored the winner, but have I?
Yeah. And I think on the board, when it said the minutes, it just said until Man United score. That's what the extra time was.
Yeah.
I saw that a lot about Liverpool this season because I had a few late winners. People were just like twist themselves into paranoid fools about like Liverpool are getting all the extra time they need. It's like, what's happening?
It's so funny because like that's happening where like people are saying that like, oh, classic live Liverpool, and then
Arsenal, Manchester United.
All the fans of those teams are also like, oh, we're being fucked again by VAR. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's because I don't want to talk about VAR for the second time in the episode, but I mean VAR is so bad consistently. You think, no, they can't be that bad. It must be corruption. Nobody could be that bad. It must be corruption. When again, if you look at it in a wider, more holistic sense, then they're corrupt against everybody. They are just that bad. It's literally unbelievable that they're that bad, but they are. So yeah, not that I don't think the extra time was warranted. I don't have no reason to actually suspect that. That's just it's a general comment on VAR. But I think we should probably give a quick word to Amran because, like a lot of people will, we were doubters, haters, non-believers.
Yep.
Is this just kind of a longer false dawn than we've had before, or is this the beginning of? Because, like, you know, we always talk about it. The Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing that felt good for a while.
That was a long
but
time,
it hit a point where it was like, oh, maybe this is as far as it goes. You know, do we think that this? I mean, it maybe just too early to tell then. You know, or are we doing a hot take? We're doing hot takes. So give me a hot take, Will. Is Amran going to win Man United the Champions League next 5 years? Go.
The next 5 years. No.
So he has to go then. Get him out.
He has to go. I don't think even Man United fans care about the Champions League. It's the league. That's the one where they will sack the manager and they'll want the manager sacked over.
Yeah.
United have never been that great in the Champions League, even in their peak. It's the league that United fans want to win 10 leagues in a row. That's what they want.
Because again, how many Real Madrid fans do you work with? Not many, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like that's it's all about bragging rights. It's all about, putting a smile on your face going into the office. Was there anything else? I guess international break. We did say coming up.
At the end of Heimer, probably.
Yeah, Heimer's last game. Hopefully get a nice send off. No, we got 2 games, don't we?
We've got 2 games, yep. Portugal, Hungary.
Portugal. Oh, fuck. Do we play Armenia again?
No, we've played Armenia twice.
And we beat them?
We won at home. And no, did we win at home? Or did we draw?
I can't remember. I think it was a hollow victory. Wasn't that it?
It wasn't good, I can tell. Yeah. We need 4 points, I think, is from the next 2 games. When have we gotten 4 points from 2 games? What's the last time?
I think we just need to be Hungary, isn't it?
I think we need a point from Portugal if Hungary beat Armenia, I believe.
No. Well, they probably will. Yeah, look, go back to our previous episodes because we've done this before. I know we have. We've looked at the table, figured out what we need. I think we did like 10 minutes on like the permutations of like what could happen. But this is the thing when it's the opposite of club football. The international break, there's so much time in the middle that you forget completely about it. The losses dissipate and disappear, and you come back going, so who are we going to beat this week? And then it's like, oh fuck, Portugal. So here we are, Portugal, Armenia, Hungary, and us in a group of death to try and get the World Cup. I think we're going to do it well. I think we're going to beat Portugal 1-1 at home.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like a victory. We're going to take that positive energy onto Hungary, and we're going to beat them 2-1, and we're going to go at the World Cup, and
win that.
Hopefully, we get sponsored and sent over there. Wouldn't that be great?
I don't know if we'd be allowed in the country.
Well, why wouldn't I've done nothing wrong except for the long throw that time?
The long throw. I have a song with kneecap. I genuinely think I'd be banned. Do they still go through your Twitter?
Once we get the sponsorship, we delete it.
They'll cover it. They'll cover the visas.
I know maybe if we were to get picked up by somebody, I don't think we'd be on the back of our follower count. I think it would be on the strength of our hot takes that we'll have perfected by June.
Yeah. Some good ones. Was a good start.
Yeah. Again, we should start writing them down. No, actually, we shouldn't start writing them down. That's the whole point.
No,
we say them and they're immediately gone.
No more remembering what we say. Get rid of that. Each episode is its own. Each episode's in a vacuum. Yeah.
I'll continue not remembering anything I say. And on that note, I think Lukaku's going to be top scorer in the Premier League this year. I just have a feeling in my bones he's going to overtake Haaland. He's going to come back stronger for Everton or wherever he's playing. Where is he at? Napoli still?
He's at Napoli, yeah.
Is he playing or is Haaland playing? Because I've only seen Haaland clips.
I think maybe he's injured or something. I actually saw a clip of 2 Italian pundits saying what sounded like negative stuff about Haaland, about his link-up play is no good and stuff. I knew it. I knew it was crap. I've been saying that.
You were watching Italian punditry without subtitles on and guessing what they were saying.
No, it was
about
on Twitter.
Haaland.
It was on Twitter. It was shown to me.
With no subtitles. You just had to guess what they were saying.
I just trusted the tweets translation.
The trust in the Twitter translation. Okay, so you don't want to commit to it. You don't want to commit to the. Anyways, look, we're struggling to wrap this up. We have international break this week, so there's no Champions League or any cup this week. It's just going to be international break. Is it the weekend or is it during the week or what's?
I think we're in a 2-week international break.
Oh my god!
2 solo pods and a 2-week long international break. What a month for the pod!
Again, well, if this is all it takes to derail the pod, then we don't deserve to go to the World Cup as a podcast. We have to grow into the season. The best podcasts grow into the football season over 5 years, not in the first 6 months to become famous and rich. No one wants that, Will. No one wants to become famous early on. You want to slowly build it up, get an audience you trust that you can then sell things to. That's the key.
It's not too bad. It actually works out nicely for the pod because Ireland play Portugal this Thursday, the 13th, and Ireland play Hungary Sunday. So our regular schedule works.
Right. So we'll do an episode Friday, I suppose, and we'll try to get out Friday evening. I think we'll just do it raw, and then Sunday. Mayo Hungry Ernest 2:00. Maybe we could do it after the game, Will, if you're around.
Oh yeah, 2:00, perfect.
Because that'll be Heimer's last game, more than likely.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's give Heimer a send off.
Emergency Heimer pod Sunday afternoon.
I've got the title already. Heimer, we hardly knew you.
Heimer, I hardly know her. Yeah. That's right. Heimer, I hardly knew her. And Hungry. No, like I said, and if we win, it's going to be a celebration. You know, I mean, the same title, either or.
If we win, there might not be an episode.
Well, we'll be negotiating with the sponsors to send us the World Cup. That was a premium Irish football pod. Yeah, look, that's going to be Thursday. We'll be back for that on Friday. I hope we get out that day as well. If not, it'll be on Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll do a reaction pod to the Hungry game as well. And after that, then we're back. Geez, then what? Another week off then for the Premier League's back?
So I think then it's back the weekend after. Yeah. So I think there's a few days break for the players. Maybe that seems crazy.
That seems illegal.
You know what? Actually, there's only 4 teams in Ireland's group, so the rest of the 5 team groups they have games.
So we'll be nervously watching our opponents for the World Cup.
Yeah.
During the week, maybe we'll do a pod on that. Yeah. Okay. Look, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. For the ultras, we'll see you Friday. For everyone else, we'll see you for Heimer's final game as Ireland manager.
Yeah.
Best luck.
Good luck.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.